All right, team, welcome. So, what does it really take to run a world-class educational field trip? It's way more than just booking a bus and picking a destination. For us, it's a science. Today, we're diving deep into the Skola standard, our comprehensive system for all off-site excursions that turns every single trip into a precisely executed mission. At the very heart of everything we do is this mission, for our students to learn English and discover other cultures. And let's be clear, that mission doesn't stop at the classroom door. In fact, it's outside where it truly comes to life. Our excursions are the curriculum in action. They are the living, breathing embodiment of the promise we make to our students and their parents. So here's our game plan for this briefing. First, we'll cover the mission itself, what we call the Skola standard. Then we'll get into its two foundational pillars, the fortress of safety and the golden thread of learning. After that, we'll look at our universal code of conduct, and we'll finish up with the final checks that give us the green light for mission go. At Skola, excursions are absolutely non-negotiable. They are a core part of our educational experience, not some optional extra. We see them as the place where real confidence is built, where lifelong memories are made, and where language learning finally clicks and becomes real. And we have to remember, every single time a group leaves this building, our school's reputation is on the line. So how do we define a successful mission? Well, it boils down to two simple, powerful pillars: flawless safety and profound learning. Our belief is that you absolutely cannot have one without the other. This is the Skola standard. Now let's break down exactly how we pull it off. And that brings us to our first and most important pillar, the fortress of safety. The principle here is simple. There is zero room for error. Student safety is our absolute, unwavering priority. And we achieve that through rigorous, standardized protocols that every single staff member must execute perfectly. No exceptions. So how do we do it? Well, our primary safety protocol when we're on the move is called the sandwich system. This is our required formation for walking anywhere, whether it's to a bus stop or through a crowded museum. It's designed to be simple, effective, and it is absolutely mandatory. Okay, so the system has three critical roles. First, you've got the leader. They're always at the front, setting the pace. And the number one rule is that no student ever walks in front of the leader. In the middle, you have the formation. That's where students walk in pairs and always, always away from the road. And finally, you have the sweeper at the back. Their only job is to make sure no one gets left behind and the group stays tight. Leader, formation, sweeper. That's the system. So how do we maintain accountability? With head counts. And the rule for when to do them is simple. At every single transition point. What does that mean? It means every time we get on or off a train, every time we enter or leave a building, even when we move from one room to another in a museum. Every single time. This is completely non-negotiable. And just so we're clear, this isn't some casual suggestion we came up with. The sandwich system, the constant head counts, the student briefings, these are all formal, documented control measures. They appear directly in our school's official risk assessments. It's a proven, systematic way to handle risk, and it is embedded right into our official procedures. Okay, so with our fortress of safety established, we can now look at our second pillar, the golden thread. This is all about our pedagogical mission. If safety is about protecting our students' bodies, the golden thread is about igniting their minds. Our trips are designed to be powerful, mobile classrooms. This is so important. Under this system, excursions are never, ever treated as time off from learning. They demand the exact same level of professional planning, engagement, and execution as any lesson you teach in the classroom. The whole goal here is to create that magic moment where language leaves the page and actually enters the real world. The golden thread process has three distinct stages. First, you prepare. Before you even think about leaving, you're in the classroom, equipping students with the specific vocabulary and grammar they're going to need. Second, you engage. While you're on site, you lead planned activities that turn them from passive observers into active learners. And third, you reconnect. The very next day, that trip becomes the primary resource for your lesson. It's a continuous loop, from the classroom to the field and right back again. So how do we govern behavior through all of this? Well, we use one simple, universal code of conduct that applies everywhere at all times, in the classroom, in the hallways, and on every single excursion. It's just three words: ready, kind, and safe. So what do these rules actually look like in the real world? Well, being ready means a staff member has all their trip documents and has thoroughly reviewed the risk assessment. Being kind can be as simple as a student giving up their seat to someone on the train. And being safe means staying behind that yellow line on the platform, and of course, walking in our pairs. It's all about translating our core values into very specific, concrete actions. All right, so we've covered the 2 pillars and our code of conduct. This brings us to the final and I'd say most critical pre-departure phase. This is where individual accountability really comes into sharp focus, making sure that every single person is truly ready for the mission ahead. At this point, the system forces a moment of personal reflection. Each of us has to ask ourselves, am I mission ready? Have I actually internalized these protocols? Do I understand the learning objectives? Am I fully prepared to uphold the Skola standard? The rule here couldn't be simpler. The mission is only a go when this checklist is 100% complete. The risk assessment has to be signed and reviewed by every staff member on the trip. Our staff briefing is done, the student briefing is done, and a final headcount is confirmed right before we walk out that door. There are absolutely no exceptions. Ultimately, the mission for every one of us isn't just to supervise, it's to deliver excellence. Excellence in safety and excellence in education, creating truly unforgettable experiences. It's a system designed to ensure that every single field trip is a mission accomplished. That is the Skola standard. Welcome to the team.